pilots, and welcome back to Season 5 of Flight Academy. This is Game 17, brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil, and today is a classic Rebel versus Empire matchup with Andy on the left, with the X-Wing and U-Wing that we've seen so commonly amongst the Rebels recently, versus my Empire list of Whisper and Flight Leader Ubel. But joining me to cheer for Andy whilst I cheer for myself, we have
James. I'm here, and yeah, I'm not cheering for you. No, well, look, I know it's like it's your channel, you run everything, but you do often feel like the bad guy, and running Empire lists doesn't help your case.
Hey, from a certain point of view, the Empire are the good guys.
Don't you dare throw Kenobi at me.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you well known for being a Rebel and Resistance player. I play everything, but my tendency is towards Empire and you could say precursor Empire with the Republic. But yeah, obviously I'm flying like one of my top two pilots here with Whisper. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to have fun with the Phantom.
Yeah,
It's
initially here, it looks like Andy is not giving you much chance to really play around with the Whisper. He's seen that you're heading for that corner, and he's going, sure, I'll go there too.
Yeah, he's got... It's weird. I've got the, on paper, most manoeuvrable ship here, but that U-Wing is, with its stop and turn, is so tricksy and can be really tough to get around, especially because if he's put the stop in, he can see where I've decloaked and then just rotate to combat that because the decloak is in the system phase. So
that's true.
It can actually make it quite tricky. It's almost like you...
I mean, yeah, I guess you still need to put in the stop. But yeah, if you give like you clearly got a 50-50 of where Whisper is going, put in the stop and just see. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a nice, interesting combo. But again, I have a newfound appreciation for Magviaro in the U-Wing as a pilot. I've seen her so often as a crew card that I'm just like, yeah,
she has a pilot ability, and it's a good pilot ability as well.
Yeah, especially I can see it being in this. It's great, but I could see it in like a Rebel Swarm sort of list where everything's flying close together. I could see that being just so infuriating for those lists that rely on target locks.
I mean, even against stuff like is it Scum Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Just shuts that down almost entirely.
Han with his rerolls shuts that down. And Han's very popular at the moment, so...
True. But Han can, like, reroll twice, right?
Yeah, but you can still only reroll one dice against Magva.
Yeah, that's so you can reroll one and then go, I'm happy with that, let me reroll this other one?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you... I'd have to look at the wording for it.
It's like two separate instances of re-rolling.
I
think that's how that works. Anyway, no, Han isn't in this.
Han isn't in this.
And he's just at a range. No, ooh, is he in range of torpedo?
He's just out of range, and weirdly, we are both out of range, just either side of being in arc as well. So, the only ship that looks like it has range is going to be the big tie, Ubel.
Okay.
Because I don't think Magva's got arc, so Ubel is going to get a sync laser into Magva, which is just about how my red dice have been so far. But got the target lock, and then I've just remembered Magva.
Yep.
So let's put that back.
Leave the focus there for the
roll another
calculate, and then yeah, just it's the one.
Yeah.
Can still do something.
The difficulty as well is if I spend that calculate, then Magva gets the range 3 bonus. Because sync laser cannons, when you're calculating, you do not get a range 3 bonus as the defender. As soon as you are not calculating because you spent it, they get that range 3 back.
Okay, I mean, looking at where Whisper is, you're either not going to decloak, or you're just going to decloak straight ahead.
Yeah. That,
Like when you end up between two obstacles, or I guess ships, because you can't decloak into them, it's a very clear direction, right?
it really does sort of telegraph what you're doing. And before loadouts were a thing, that's why I was a big fan of collision detector on the Phantom. Because you could then go, I can decloak / barrel roll over obstacles and it's fine. So, but collision detector is very expensive, unfortunately.
I wonder if it would have been worth not decloaking and just be like, look, I've got all these evade dice, try your torpedoes, see what happens.
It's a very scary idea, and I'm not going to lie. Target lock, force, focus, multiple modifications with a proton torp. Yes,
So it's still what, 4 red dice against your 4 green?
4 with a cloak, yeah. So it's not terrible, but
it's not as bad as it could be otherwise. Although you haven't actually done your maneuver yet, so you're probably going to be out of arc, so you should be okay.
And it does have the initiative, so let's see. A barrel roll from Ubel, which with expert handling does make it white.
Expanding's a good upgrade. It's a simple idea. It's like, you got this thing, cool. It's a little easier to do. Done. Nothing too complicated about it. It just works.
What I love about all of the upgrades on Ubel is that it makes every action white. He has no red actions anymore because of target assist and expert handling. It's awesome. And that's a very defensive.
An agile guy is just like, you've finally flown past me? Cool, let me just turn that around.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like the torpedo is going towards Ubel.
Instinctive aim. It's not a terrible idea, to be honest.
Ow.
That's a great idea, to be honest.
Crit for the proton.
Yeah.
And on a ship that has no shields.
Half points.
And 2 crits.
Yep. What are they? Stunned pilot. And structural damage.
Structural damage.
That is, other than a hull breach or fuel leak, probably the worst one to get on a medium-based ship because you tend to only have 1 evade. So, and we were sort of having a bit of a chat before we actually started recording this evening, and maybe I regret taking Ubel a little bit, taking the brute, but you know what?
I like seeing it on the board. I really like its design. Like, if you would have said to me, like, oh, there's this new Han Solo sort of spin-off film coming out, make up a new TIE fighter for it, I'd be like, you what? We've done all the shapes. What are you talking about? The fact that they've just gone, you know what, we'll just put a gun next to the pod. And it looks fine.
It's like, we'll put it into CAD, and we'll just enlarge it a lot, and put a big gun on it. And it's like, you know what? That is cool. It works really well. And that's a hull breach. Fun. So, Ubel is hurting, but I do get to return fire.
A bit.
For 1.
I
mean, I took Ubel for the double tap potential, and it hasn't really paid off. But
it's the thing of, like, on paper, it could do a lot, but getting it to happen consistently is tricky. Whereas stuff like Magva's ability to just shut down rerolls, Luke's ability to just get an unlimited amount of force just happens. There's not a whole lot of setup. The most setup Andy needs to do is get the right range to fire a proton torpedo.
Exactly, and then he doesn't even need the target lock because he's got instinctive aim, although he is much more of the preference of not having to use instinctive aim because he likes that target lock like modification.
Great.
A great turn there from Magva. Pretty much guaranteeing that she is going to have a shot on Ubel there. Luke now looking and just going, my work here is done. Let's go find the other ship.
Taking a while to work out action. Yeah, it's focus. Okay.
K2SO is a great upgrade on Magva. Just being able to pass that calculator around it's quite nice.
Like Luke with a focus, a calculate, and 2 force. Like
The target lock currently that is
you
on
would need
Whisper.
him to blank out.
Yeah.
Which we've seen. I've seen it many times when I'm using Luke.
And no heroic.
Even then, that's a lot of mods. Although maybe it's too many mods. Sometimes you go, man, I didn't use half of these things that I've got.
I'm still of the mindset of I prefer to have them and not use them than need them and not have
Right,
them.
but sometimes you go, oh, I took a focus and I only spent the calculate. I could have like repositioned into somewhere better or taken a target lock for re-rolling the blanks that I then couldn't spend the focus on.
I mean, right now, Luke is laughing. He had target lock, focus, calculate, force. He can't boost because it's the Battle of Yavin variant, so he's got the barrel roll instead.
Right,
And
but
he could have
what I'm
barrel rolled
saying
in there,
is
but yeah.
a focus, a calculate, and the force all modify dice in the same way. They change
true.
a focus to a result. They can't do anything on a blank.
That is true.
It's
yeah.
maybe too many of the same kind of modification.
Yeah, and maybe it's looking like possibly Magva would have liked to have had that calculate, but obviously with her doing the stop, she couldn't take the calculate. Is that into Magva or Luke? One of 8, so it's into Magva, so
I think you look at the tokens that Luke has and goes, I'm not damaging him this turn.
oh, and that is Ubel just deleted.
But I mean, there was a whole breach, but it didn't matter because there was a damage engine and a direct hit.
And then the return shot does nothing. Ubel was ineffectual, unfortunately.
Just a quick thing. When you pulled out
Yeah.
the extra damage to the direct hit, that should have also been a crit.
Yeah, but I think at that point, well, I mean, if it was another direct hit, I'd just keep pulling out all the direct.
But that's still worth doing in a game because it means that your other ship is less likely to take the direct hits.
True, there is that. Past Phil, do it better.
It's one of those weird things that you don't really think about a lot of the time. But when it's pointed out to you, you go, oh yeah, I guess I should be doing that.
Could have got rid of all of the bad crits.
Or you end up pulling out the other crits, leaving the direct hits in. So, who knows?
Yeah, that's more likely what would happen. Just get those direct hits closer to the top. But it's now become a much trickier game for Whisper here. On her own versus Luke and Magva.
Magva is kind of just carrying on running that support. What has Whisper done? Sharp turn. Now, would a barrel roll keep you safe?
It's very close. It looks like it should.
I think you're okay to do a barrel roll. I think that gets you out of Luke's arc. You're definitely giving it a go. Yeah, you're fine.
Oh yeah, easily out. There we go.
Range 1 as well.
Yes. That's range 1 on Luke.
Though you've flown Whisper a bit.
I've had a bit of practice.
Yeah. Let's see if damage-wise it pays off.
Oh, that's a great roll. That is just brilliant. Oh.
I mean, shooting Luke, that's more or less what you want to see him roll.
That's half points on Luke there straight away. What was that? Direct hit. Oh, 4 points of damage.
After losing Ubel, that is what you want to see.
Ubel, so I'll have a quick word with you here. That's how it's done. Next time, pay attention. That was good. That was unexpectedly good. Tricky position now for decloaking. I've only really got that one option, but
Yeah, and I think potentially knowing that you're decloaking over there, Luke may have just gone for like a K turn or something.
that is quite possible.
Although who has
But
initiative? Andy does.
so
So
Andy does have the
Luke
initiative.
moves first. I would maybe be worried about bumping into Whisper.
Yeah, possibly the Talon.
Or just go slow. Oh, okay. I think that is the K turn.
The
Is it gonna fit?
4K, it does fit. That's
Ooh.
nice.
Oh, it's
That is
nice for
good.
Andy.
Very nice friend. I mean, I can appreciate great flying, even if it
True.
is
Also,
against me.
I mean, you haven't done your maneuver yet. This is the thing
Yeah.
I always sort of look at and forget with decloaking ships is that they move so much in the system phase, and then it's like, no, there's still more to do later. We'll just wait.
Another candy cane there from Whisper.
Yeah, I don't think you're a bit too far away to barrel roll out of this one. You
It's
might be able to
good.
get behind the rock. No, okay, yeah. Oh, you might be okay actually.
Oh,
Yeah, go that way a bit, just to give you a bit more space.
yeah. Definitely, if I'm gonna do it, I've got to go forward. So it's close though. It's one of those ones
I
that could
mean,
clip the edge.
being in that
No,
position,
no,
you've
massively.
avoided the arc, nice, and you've got a lot of space for decloaking.
Yeah, I've got 3 options for decloak here. That the board edge looks very close though, so I'd have to be wary of that. And that's going to obviously make me think, right, what do I put my move in? Because if
You
okay,
have gone
this
towards
does
the board
fit.
edge. It
Okay,
fits.
so that fits. So
I mean, I'm anticipating another the candy cane maneuvers where you decloak all the way that way and then just do a sharp turn.
well, in the moment, I was looking at it and I was just like, right, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to fit. So I kind of had to then think, right, if that doesn't fit, I've got to go one of the other 2 ways. What move will still fit in those other ways?
Okay.
So obviously, if I'd have
So
gone
you just
forward,
went.
I couldn't do a 1 hard. So I'm kind of telling you kind of what's happening, but
So you just gone straight?
I'm not going to tell you that much. You'll find out right about now.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's still pretty good.
So I
Because
again,
you
I
don't care
wasn't.
about the debris in front of you because you can decloak.
Yeah,
You can barrel roll anyway.
I was. I wasn't sure if I was going to fit that that cloak to the left.
I
So I
think
didn't
given
want
the
to put a
position
1
you
in just
were
in case.
in, it was worth the risk. It's the
Hence, I
best
put the
position to
3
be in.
area around. Yeah, and now it's another range,
Oh,
and I only need to re-roll 1. That's
yep.
Luke dead.
Magda can't stop that, and Luke can't stop that.
Ho ho
Luke is
ho.
down. Nicely done, Whisper. And you telling her what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was very proud of that, and even Andy was just like, "Well done. That was good."
Again,
'Cause
sometimes you have all the tokens in the world, but if the dice just decide no, they just decide no. Well,
unobstructed
you
break
have,
3 from
yeah,
Dragon.
you rolled just the side of the debris, so you don't get that. But you got 2 evades.
I got 2 evades. I mean, I can evade this regardless. Yeah, there we go. It's nice to keep hold of that evade there for the cloak.
Yeah.
This is now where it does get a bit trickier.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
what
a
we
case
said
of like you
earlier,
try and getting close, or do you try and keep your distance? I don't really know how. I've never flown Whisper or any
so
decloaking ships really.
I mean, there's very few of them, but it's that pivot that Magva has that makes it scary. I've got to try and figure out, right, where's the position she's not going to want to pivot. I was anticipating not doing a stop there because she wouldn't want to pivot.
Right,
Into
but whilst you're
board.
thinking about the pivot, Andy is thinking about the decloak. So it's a
Yeah.
similar situation for both of you.
Yeah, very, very chess mechanics for the both of us there.
And even though you are now behind Magva, as you say, she could just stop and turn around.
Yeah, I was actually anticipating Magva turning in, to be honest. That was my anticipation there, so nice turn away there from Andy. Really, really threw me a little bit on what was happening.
Oh, decloak that way. All right.
I was a little bit worried because staying stressed, I'd have to clear my stress to make sure that I could do an evade to potentially cloak again next turn. So it's almost like just have a quick reset of positioning.
Yeah. Yeah, stress can mess you up a bit, can't it?
Yeah, there's sometimes you've just got to say that's what it has to be. Potentially, looking back at it, I might not have cloaked and just stuck where I was and then just did a blue maneuver from there. But I have got myself into a fairly,
Yeah, it's the thing of
fairly
like,
nice
I've got this
position.
ability, I will use this ability. And
I mean, I've
most
done
of
it.
the time, it works out.
Yeah, I mean, there was in my game against Ben, there were times where I didn't cloak and I was like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right not cloaking. Like,
Oh,
I'm a
Mag was
fan.
dead. Never mind. Oh,
Oh,
she's back.
oh. Obviously, we clearly haven't got the rule of if it comes off the peg, it's dead. That'd be brutal. You would definitely super glue your pegs on then.
I'm not entirely sure that's where Whisper wants to be.
It's less than ideal positioning. I don't
Can
think
we
Whisper can get
barrel
out of that.
roll out of it? It's a bit of a distance to go.
Don't know if I can do that third time in this game.
I mean,
I'm
Mag
looking
doesn't
at it.
have any special abilities for like bullseye or anything, so okay, linking. No.
No, not linking. I was actually looking just to see.
Oh, okay.
It
And
was one of those, like, I was curious. No, would have still been an arc. So
okay,
sticking there and getting the range one,
it's not bad.
no target locks, so 2
Oh,
hits.
that's true. You don't have to tie lock.
Gets one. I get one through. I do get an additional evade, so I am tokened up the wazooie, as they say. Let's see if that's helpful. Magna does have the target lock.
Then the whole lock.
Well, that's damage coming through. I've got all
Level
those
1.
tokens and I didn't need them, so shields down. Again, better to have than not need.
Yeah. I think going back a bit where you were saying like, oh, maybe I would have not decloaked, done a blue and something else. Would you have been in range to grab a target lock then for your fire control system?
I think I would have. I think if I'd have done like a 2 forward, which is blue, I probably could have got the target lock, or maybe just taken the. Depends on if I had arc. I could have taken the target lock, done the evade,
Yeah.
and there was me anticipating the stop.
I mean, you still got a shot though.
Still got a shot.
Not a great one, but it's a shot.
One damage to get the win.
I mean, that nearly did it. So it's
Nearly did it.
a draw.
It's a draw, so that does mean we are
I mean,
going.
after you lost Ubel fairly early on, you took out Luke with Whisper alone. And
Yeah,
that in itself is a feat. Well done.
Yeah, this was a great game. So we're going to road off now. Focus. There's the crit. Andy gets it. But you know what? That was such a great game. I was so happy with how I flew Whisper in that. And Andy flew Magva really well. I was expecting that turnaround, and he just got off. And I was like, you know what?
Just close enough to support Luke when needed,
Yeah.
and out the fight when not needed.
He did it absolutely well, and it was just really unfortunate. I had some very hot dice against Luke, and Luke's dice weren't that great. And then the direct hit did help out as well. So, but it was a fantastic game, and I got another point, which is always good. But let's see how that does actually affect the table. Andy is vying for that top 4 slot there, and he is currently in 4th place. with 13 points. One game left to go for the top 5 to try and cement who is there. So it's all to play for those 5. Me and Scott, we're just having fun down there at the bottom. We get to fly ships and say pew pew, and that's all that really matters for us. But, James, a rebel victory, but I hope that you still enjoyed some of the Empire's delights.
Yeah, it was great seeing the decloaking properly in action there. It was great.
It was indeed. But again, guys, I hope you really enjoyed that. We still have more action to come, so don't forget, do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.